Oh man. Okay, so this drawbridge design is a bad drawbridge design.
Bad drawbridge design. Bad drawbridge design. Bad drawbridge design.
But it's a bad design.
Bad drawbridge design.
Doesn't reach all the way up to the top of the arch either.
Bad drawbridge design. For positives, you mentioned that double chained possibility there.
Oh,
we
yes.
have a great drawbridge in terms of 2 chains. Bad drawbridge design.
The drawbridge design is comparable to tripwires we have seen in the past, but they have made it nearly flush. So that's really all right.
Okay then.
Bad drawbridge design.
Useless.
Please won't you be my scribble?
With a lock. Oh, it's beautiful.
Sorry, what is
Minifigure-
that?
A minifigure accessible lock.
It's a lock.
With? What's this?
Is that a lock?
It's a functioning lock.
Wow.
Very sad. There's no lock.
There is no lock.
We're judging modern sets pretty harshly because they leave so little to the imagination that we need to judge what they give us.
Like the lock on the door.
Yeah, if they give us a
If
lock.
it was a bad lock,
Yeah,
judge it, but it worked.
but there's no locks in this castle.
No locks, no locks. Where are they?
I don't know. We've had locks on castles since the beginning.
Maybe he's hanging out with Hobbs.
Lock and Hobbs.
Oh, yes.
Political jokes.
We also have the functioning portcullis, which is very nice.
Oh, but of course.
Yet this one has no lock.
Very sad. There's no lock.
There is no lock. And in between those 2 towers that you were talking about, we have gates. But further than that, they're lockable.
That's right. We have 3 separate gate systems, all of them lockable. It's beautiful. They even use lock pieces.
And the other feature, they lack something crucial.
Oh, so crucial indeed. There are no locks. There's no roof.
There is no roof.
Just bars and a puddle.
It's very cruel.
He's just being kept in the water.
He's not going to last long.
Mm-mm.
It's more of a torture room than a jail cell, and that's pretty dark. Come on, Robin. Oh, man. What's that creeping out of the wall?
There's a tree growing out of the wall.
Like, what are you doing?
At the point where the stone is highest and the walls are lowest, they allowed a tree to grow right out of the wall. You can climb that tree and render these massive stone walls the height of a single brick. That's up to your knee. Very disappointing. Now, so this defensibility check, of course, assumes that these forest men are buffoons, when in fact
yes.
they are talented killing machines.
First time we're seeing the use of roofs
Wow.
in one of these castles.
Reefs, I believe.
Oh.
So the water for the cistern comes from the wall.
The wall. The wall is full of water.
Very confusing. Speaking of confusing things,
Castle, demonstrating an understanding of where burnables should be put and where they should not be put. King's Mountain Fortress. This is the first set we're seeing on a raised base plate, so
Ooh.
that's really cool.
yeah, raised base plates are very cool. They add so much depth.
They're also defensible.
This is true. This is true.
They have the high ground.
Perhaps an assassin lying in wait, concealed there during the night.
I'm pretty sure it's where the Wolfpack prisoner crawled into the fortress and then at night stumbled and fell into the jail cell.
no.
That would
Through
make
the
sense
well?
for a
yeah,
wolf
through the
pack.
well.
Oh.
He was just thirsty. He needed
Yes.
something to drink.
Right.
He's like, hey, I see these really nice black knights. I hear they're charitable guys. To go get a drink of water from their well, barring the ectoplasm that's in the water.
Right.
It's pretty good for drinking. And then bam, splash. He's
Oh,
in dungeon.
the poor fellow.
Yeah.
Poor fellow.
And then the rest of the Wolfpack, they just form as a means to get him out. Just free
Yes.
Wolfpack. I mean, they're basically just protesters. This whole
Yeah,
thief,
right, yeah.
This whole thief thing's totally out of line.
It has a thatched roof. The palace has a thatched roof. It is made out of wood, plaster, and straw. That's how these buildings would work. It is wood, plaster, and straw. The palace is flammable. That's extremely disappointing.
Yeah.
Plumes are oh so flamboyant.
Ah, yes. For what is flamboyant, if not pertaining to fire? Often depicted as red. And their plumes are red. So they're flamboyant.
So without further
Air back of the castle.
Offensibility, -0. Positive, 3.
-0.
-0.
How the well is on the top of the hill can only be explained by its incredible depth.
I feel like the holy mountain of Jerusalem. Yes. The spring flowing up into the Tower of David.
It's about as explicable as the water coming out of the wall in the 90th anniversary set as a faucet.
We also
A particularly noble Wolfpack member, I might add, because he is wearing a cape.
Yes, a scarlet cape.
I don't know
Indeed.
who gets thrown into prison wearing a scarlet cape, but but perhaps this is Will Scarlet. I don't know.
Oh, perhaps.
But anyway, he's not a small time crook. This guy is a professional criminal, which means he's a businessman or a politician.
To argue that there are what could be considered murder holes behind those little nubs of crenellations.
I am not
on
convinced.
the bridge.
The smile on this guy rather unsettling.
That's right.
It's as unnerving as those forestmen.
simplicity I find so attractive.
Which, on an interesting note, boiling oil, as famous as it is, was probably never used. It's just kind of silly.
So,
0.
Alright, defensibility check of set 6075. Wolfpack's Tower. Which one?
yeah, which tower's the Wolfpack Tower? Is it the turret?
No.
Is it the gatehouse?
No.
Is it the ghost's little hideout?
Could be.
Is the ghost hideout. No idea how he gets up there and down, but at least he's magic, and later
That's
on
true.
we
Well, that's why Tolkien invented eagles. And not a good location for someone to hide, seeing as the most flammable portion of the castle is directly above the location. So.
And the winch used for operating the drawbridge, it's accessible to whoever might be operating it.
Yeah, I guess so. It's kind of what that means. Dirt.
Then we've got the cistern. You've got it. You've got water.
If there is a siege, you have a nice stone bucket of water is what it looks like, and running water at that. There's a faucet coming right out of the wall. I'll believe it. I'll just believe it for now, and you get running water. That's cool.
The back left tower is entirely inaccessible, so you cannot reach its second level nor its top.
unless you're a ghost. If you're dead,
This
you
is
can get
true.
up there.
This is true.
Apparently, and he helps them on their missions now.
Yep.
That's cool. It's very sporting of him.
There are no living quarters in this tower to speak of.
Of it, so that you can't see it there, because it looks like the knight's gonna trip over.
That's pretty sneaky.
Very sneaky. Some murder holes in there. I know it's the living quarters, but murder holes might keep them living. The holes that you climb up the ladder to get to the very top, if you'd care to, or get up to those windows, also serve a defender up top of the front tower as murder holes to drop all sorts of nasty things down onto persons who may have made it through your gate ladder. And we have a ghost.
Yeah, it seems to be a staple. Those two guys that we see pretty much right next to each other, I think both have scarlet capes. Both have the same head and the same outfit. So, what do you think's going on there?
Identical twins.
Yeah.
And warfare has changed. We're no longer looking for, like, rocks down through machicolations. We're looking for, like,
Bullets through
good rifle placement. Oh.
Walls.
We have a ghost. This is a very good thing.
I'll bet it's the guy with the eye patch, and that's why he has the eye patch. Mismanagement of birds.
Ooh.
Done.
For you on the wolf pack, you could use it as a floor.
Mm-hmm.
True.
We have Wolfpack floors all over this place.
What's that on the drawbridge? A tripwire!
Indeed. The Crusaders could hide a force of perhaps 6.
Dangerous.
There's open flames everywhere. Open flames all over this castle.
There,
Open flames.
it's true.
On a wood, not even castle, sorry. This is the fort. There's open flames on the fort.
So those parrots. Do you think they're real?
Absolutely.
So they
Yeah.
just...
It's a pretty
Yeah.
tropical area,
Those,
that
those
Texas.
are trained killer parrots. They weren't always red.
Actually, if you look there, that guy who's sneaking through that little area, yeah, the parrots are about to...
He's looking
Go for
over
the
at those
eyes.
parrots.
It looks as if we could have a stable, an armory, and perhaps even a barracks.
Stand on them with a cup and toast the non-piracy of the day.
So there's a ghost and a stone parrot.
There's a stone
The
parrot.
stone parrot is very cool. Marching up that bridge with a treasure chest. He's probably had to carry that a long way, and it's a real shame that he's just been dragging it.
Hopefully they used the Wolfpack cart
Right.
to bring it there, dropped it off.
Hey, it's huge.
There's a couple of different holes. There's a hole above the jail bars. There's a hole across the entire back of that lower room, and a hole all the way across the headquarters.
There's also a hole between the gate and the top, so you could have some space there.
Yeah, if ladders were consonants, Fort Legoretto would be the language Welsh, and this would be the language French. Now that's how you use an analogy. Made things so much clearer.
We have doors all over the place. Total 3. This fort passes.
It's at a slant. It's on a slope. It's on a hill.
Bewildered and bemused as to how you could possibly get a cannon crew up there to operate the piece.
Onto
Auxiliary graces. Do 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 do. The storeroom is 100% puddle down there. It's like the Forestman's dungeon down there.
Yeah, and maybe that's how the ghost got to be the way he was. Maybe he used to be a prisoner,
That's
but he
possible.
just got too wet. Land?
A very large saline moat, one may say.
Oh, you may say that.
A large saline moat. I did say it.
Well, you said one may say it, so I gave you permission.
I did.
Wow.
Did you notice?
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, I see.
Well, I always assumed the ghost had to get up there somehow.
I
This
don't
is
know.
true. It's not like he could fly or move through walls or anything.
No.
He'd have to use a ladder in the doorway.
Goodness.
I need to knock first.
One of whom seems bedecked in all the foppery of an admiral of the line. Yeah.
So this entire fort is constructed out of wood. So it is flammable.
Very flammable.
OSHA would not be happy with this dragon pit right in the middle of the fortress. There's no railings around it, no grippy footing.
Uh-oh.
Without his dedication and merciless moaning, this castle would be considerably less defensible.
It's a little cache of cash.
I used to be alive. It's Denmark. It doesn't have to make sense.
Silly design on.
It's a drawbridge of sorts.
Yeah, there's no mechanism for it.
Bad drawbridge design.
Sad.
You can fit a force of probably 17.
So the Golden Frog. You can't get to the Golden Frog, like. I mean, it is accessible for the other minifigures, but in the worst possible way.
Yeah, falling in.
It also has really low self-esteem.
Yes.
That's what makes it insecure.
Yes, it's a very, very insecure jail cell.
Good one.
So I believe, on account of His Majesty, this is His Majesty.
Insular.
So-
Insular. That's the word you're looking for.
What'd you call me?
Insular.
Oh.
Dangerous.
There's a trapdoor in the highest level.
But Lego is pixelated.
Hide. There's lots of places to
Yeah.
hide. You can hide under the stairs, you can hide under the corners to shoot them immediately.
That's a lot of wildfires.
That's a lot of Texas.
And you would have to jump about 3 feet in armor to be able to get into this tower. However, this is probably the best drawbridge design we've seen.
I'd say let the ghost live in the well, but you know.
Well,
I wouldn't want haunted water.
I know all the ectoplasm.
There's a hole in the back of the fort. There's a hole in the back of the fort. There's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole in the back of the fort. Okay. Well, I guess pirates are probably trying to get in.
well, it's true.
Are they trying to stay in?
3 square meals a day in heat.
Sometimes it seems like you're trying to go to prison, Coach Z.
Hey, 3 square meals a day!
And there's only one armed man.
There's not really floors in this tower. They all are ladder gate floor things that move around like a game of chutes and ladders.
I think that pretty much summarizes this entire tower. Chutes and ladders.
You'd have to lean over the crenellations, and to pull the pin to drop the rocks on people coming up the ramp, once again, you would have to lean over the crenellations. So that's very difficult to operate. Very.
Lounge. We have a fireplace with some golden coins sneakily hidden behind it.
Oh, so cool. Inaccessible golden coins, -5.
Easy, -5.
There's a trap door. That's cool. It's a nice,
It's very cool. Very offensible.
super
you will.
offensive. Not super defensive, but very offensive.
So there you have it.
Fire-breathing fortress. I mean, it's almost not a failure.
It's very close to not a failure.
A whole new territory.
And fire out upon all of those
Ruffians.
out
Desperados.
there. Desperados.
Ragamuffins.
Those ones.
Who maybe
I can see that guy climbing.
little bandit climbing up.
Yes, there have been 371 wildfires in Texas.
One of these rogue cattle ranchers.
It's done.
Pirates.
All right, defensibility check on set 1888.
Wow.
Black Knight's Guard Shack.
1888?
That's correct.
Wow, that's after George Washington was alive.
That is somewhat after George Washington was alive.
Wow.
It's somewhat before.
Pinball machines.
Somewhat.
Wow.
Is that when this set is from? 1888.
I doubt it.
It could be 1888 BC. That'd be pretty cool.
That would not be accurate.
No, not in the slightest. But it's also not accurate to 1888.
Right.
So.
Maybe it's 888 and the one's not supposed to be there.
Oh, that's probably, or 188 and the 8's not supposed to be there.
Ooh, no, I think that 888 makes more sense.
Given his arms there,
the blue one?
the style of helm, halberd, the
Halbrand? What?
So without further ado, we'll have to check out this flagship set here. You may be saying, this isn't a flagship castle, but there's a flag, and there's a castle. Where's the ship?
It's the friendship between the knight and the ghost.
Aw,
Wow,
that's
so this
sweet.
is indeed a flagship
Okay,
set.
so without further ado.
So without further ado, let's dive in.
Accessibility.
So, unfortunately, you can't get into the top of the tower. It's an inaccessible tower top because the wall itself there up at the top gets in the way.
I wouldn't say inaccessible, but it's tough. You got to climb over about a brick and a third of height. No, just a brick of height, and there's a flagpole there, so it's tough to get up. It's not easy.
Yeah. So, unfortunate. We do have a ladder to the second level, which
It's
is more
true.
than we've seen in some of the other castles.
Every level is accessible in this castle.
Good point. We also have an armory. We have some swords down at the bottom.
Yep, some spears.
Very welcome.
Spears, yeah.
Yep. And there's a complete circuit.
You can get all the way around the parapet of this castle.
Wow. So, accessibility, -1, +3, net of 2.
Very nice, very nice.
On to defensibility. Now, we have no door and
Very sad.
no lock.
The
Very
crenellation
unfortunate.
height is also pretty low.
Yeah.
It's not that big a castle, it must be admitted. It's a
It's
bit
not.
small, a little short.
Right.
However,
There are some phenomenal things.
yes, we've got some spikes here on the tower to keep ladders
Oh, yeah.
away.
A deterrent.
We've got a ladder that can be raised. It's a draw ladder.
Oh.
And we can assume there's a moat.
Yes, we
Yes.
can assume that there's
Yes,
a moat.
there's definitely a moat.
Because there's no... We can
Not
assume that there's a
moat.
moat. Exactly.
There's no not moat right there.
So, defensibility, -3, +3, net 0. On to offensibility. Now, I think this castle really shines.
So this is actually the first genuine murder hole we have seen. There's a hole in the middle of the floor that you can drop right into your room down there. And that's awesome. There's working machicolations all the way around this castle. And something
man.
this set has,
I think it's probably our favorite.
probably,
There's a ghost.
there is a ghost.
Wow.
Very cool.
Look at
Very
him.
offensive.
Do you see him right there?
He is so offensive.
He's got swords in front of him.
Wow.
Don't get too
Well,
close.
If you did, he'd kill you.
I'll bet.
Yep. So, -0.
-0. +3. Let's go. As of right now, our total is sitting pretty at 5.
Yes.
On to auxiliary graces.
All right, there's a sufficient garrison.
Yeah, there's 2.
There's 2. You could hold it with 1. There's 2. Twice as many.
Right.
Yeah. That'd be like King's Castle coming with 24 or something.
Wow.
Yeah. The set numbers are really cool.
Yeah.
1888 is a really good number.
Yeah, I think
It's all
something important happened then.
Not only does it have a sufficient garrison, it does have 2 minifigures. So there's a +1 for that. It has circa 31 pieces. So that's over 30, and that's almost 32.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, our total 11.
Yep.
This does
This is the best
remarkably well.
This is the best castle we've ever seen.